Hey YouTube, welcome again to my channel, Frugal Samurai here. I hope you guys are well. Recently I've had quite a number of people ask me about how to get started in investing. Before jumping into buying and selling, I think the most important thing any beginning investor should have is a proper mindset. So today I'll be talking about 6 quick and easy personality traits anyone can adopt to become a successful investor. Let's jump in. Number 1, patience. When we first start out, it's so easy for us just to want to jump straight in, especially in this current age of instant gratification. But we need to understand that results take time, and that's why we need patience. Because patience allows us to develop focus and avoid the profit-killing emotions of greed and fear. It also allows us to focus on one thing at a time, one investment at a time, so that we can compound those results, both from a returns and also a knowledge perspective. Number 2, independent thinking. When we first start investing, it's so easy to get caught up in all the noise in the market, from friends and family, and also from social media and all those media pundits. Therefore, it's important to not be influenced by the noise in the market and understand that the market is usually driven by 2 emotions of greed and fear. Staying the course of our thinking allows us to be calm when the sky is about to fall on our heads, and also avoid the rush for the exits when the crowd looks to sell, or the rush for the entrance when the crowd looks to buy. A common pitfall for many people when they first start out is a lack of persistence. And this is why it does not deliver optimal results. It's also why they always jump from one investment strategy to another and are always chasing for the next hot tip. Make sure you don't become one of those people. And this brings us to number 3, always be learning. So many people start off by betting on opinions on the market based on limited information, partial arguments, and sound bites. But successful investors continually learn. This allows us to conduct our own due diligence and understand what works and also what doesn't work. When I first started, I learned by asking questions through forums and social media, and also reading up on the experts who had a solid track record of success. Knowledge is different to information in that knowledge is education, whereas information is mainly noise. There are many ways to learn through books, articles, journals, social media, blogs, forums. But remember to learn from our mistakes earlier on, because they're part of the process and allows us to become successful investors later on. Number 4, having an exit strategy. So most people start to count their chickens before they hatch because they think every investment is a sure thing. But we have to understand that the future is uncertain and there are always 2 sides to every investment. 1, when things go really, really well, and 2, when things go really, really bad. For example, if you buy a stock at $10 and it drops down to $5, do you sell, hold, or buy more? Conversely, if that same stock rises to $20, do you sell, hold, or buy more? We must plan our exit and actions before we enter any investment. Number 5, know our strategy. When you're a beginner investor, it's hard to know your investment strategy, but here are some things to consider. A, do you diversify or not to diversify? Diversification is not putting all your eggs in one basket, and something many people advocate. But some great investors like Warren Buffett advocate a more focused portfolio strategy in which you only hold a smaller concentration of holdings. This depends on what you're comfortable with. B, long-term or short-term. Many great investors like Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and Jack Bogle are long-term investors. But there are some successful investors like George Soros who concentrate mainly on the short term. Personally, I prefer to hold things for the long term to ride out any volatility in the market. Understanding a company with good growth prospects, solid cash flow, and low debt levels, and holding it for the long term is usually a good precursor for success. C, capital gains or cash flow. Some investors focus purely on capital gains, in which case you want to buy low and sell high. But there are some investors who look more on the cash flow side of things, in which case you want to build up a consistent stream of income. For example, you might want to be buying bank shares, such as through the big 4 banks here in Australia, which have consistently paid out good dividends. Or you might want to look at a commercial property over a residential property, because commercial property usually provides a higher level of rental yield. So which one suits you? D, fundamental or technical investor. Do you look at the big picture and understand business fundamentals such as economic conditions, business performance, management skill? Or do you prefer things like charts, graphs, ratios, and more of a nitty-gritty side of investing? what you'll find is that successful investors are usually a combination of both. There is no right or wrong answer to any of these, but we need to understand earlier on what type of investor we are so that we can play to our strengths later on. And finally, number 6, understand risk. All investing holds risk, but investing and not understanding what you're doing holds even greater risk. This is why being educated is so important, and creating risk management systems in place is crucial for any successful investor. An example might be to implement a stop loss or to sell out of your holdings if the share price drops 20% below what you have purchased at. Or you might want to start to sell a percentage of your holdings if the share price rises more than 20% to take some profit off the table. Everyone's risk tolerance is different, which is why you need to find your own individual sleep at night factor. There you have it, guys. 6 quick and easy personality traits any beginner investor can adopt today. So if you like this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button below, click on the bell, turn the notifications on, and I will see you next time. Bye all. Number 2, independent thinking. I always have the same intro. How do you start?
Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well.
Okay. Hey YouTube, hope you guys have been well. As a beginner, it's so easy to begin. As a beginner, number 1, patience.